Hey guys, what's going on? London here. You guys know what to do. As always, like the video, subscribe, and comment down below your opinions of the game that we've just watched. It really does help push my videos out there, so I appreciate anyone that does. But let's get into it. Chelsea won, Southampton won, or I guess the other way around, given that it was an away fixture. Wow, that's points dropped. That's really big points dropped. We were looking strong, heading towards the top four. I think, was it 5 or 6 games? That we'd gone and beat, and of course the draw against Wolves and then wins from then on. But Southampton are the team we lose points to, and in annoying fashion as well. They had one shot on target, I believe, the whole game, and as Takumi Minamino gets the goal for them. He was abysmal in the game up until that point. Runs through and really well composed finish. You got to give it to him. To put that in the back of the net. Aspi maybe getting a little bit in the way of the keeper there, but all in all that was bad. I think Zuma probably was the one that should have been tracking him. Aspi was looking more on Danny Ings, who was next to him. Then you have Zuma letting the ball through the middle, and maybe a lot of people, myself somewhat included, were thinking we need to get Zuma back in this team. He wasn't really doing much wrong. He was probably our best defender alongside Thiago Silva, leading up to Frank Lampard leaving and everything, but he came in today, and that might have been the costly mistake. Plus, when the ball went past him, you literally just see him just sort of slowly jogging back when he should have been bombing it back to get to that goal line or to get to Minamino and try and get the ball off or get a block in or something. So all in all, I think Zuma's probably at fault for that one, because in a back five, your central centre-back cannot be the one that gets played in behind. That cannot be the situation. That doesn't happen in a back five. That's why we switched to it, to try and have more solidity in the defence. So Zuma definitely at fault there. If you look at the team ratings, Mendy with an 6.4, Aspi with a 7.1, Zuma 7.1, Rudiger 7.4. In terms of the defence there, Reece James 7.1, and then Marcos Alonso 7.1 as well. All in all, as much as this game is abysmal for us, drop points here, we're trying to creep ahead of Liverpool, we're trying to creep ahead of Everton, all the teams that are chasing us, West Ham, and look to move up a little bit. If Man United start dropping points, if Leicester start dropping points, we could etch up that table a little further and look at 2nd and 3rd place. But this might have been the time that we've just blown it. We're looking at the table now, and top four's a little less. I was thinking, right, we get the 3 points against Southampton. We're in a tough run of games now. That's the other problem from this, is that if we pick up all these points heading into that Southampton game, we're looking all right. We got Atletico Madrid, so a tough tie in the Champions League, but then we've got some tough league games coming up as well. And you're thinking, okay, you get all the good points in before that, you get the wins you're supposed to get. And then here, maybe you can afford a draw, maybe you can afford, win one, draw one, win, loss, or something like that with our next few Prem fixtures, because they are tough. But this just sets us back, and that means that when we come up against these tough teams in the league now, there's going to have to be 3 points in there somewhere to make sure that we stay into top 4. So in terms of player performance here, Tammy came off. Obviously, he was not good today. Admittedly, we were playing quite wide, trying to get the crosses in, but for some reason we were crossing into bodies of Southampton. Don't get me wrong, Southampton were defending with a lot of men in the box. It wasn't like it was, a striker versus and a winger against 2 or 3 defenders. They had 7, 8 players in the box at most times. They were really packing that box out. But in that scenario, I don't get why we just carried on to go wide and cross. We saw a lot of this under Frank, which was a big complaint that people had, was that we would just go wide, cross and hope. And that's all what we were doing. We were putting these crosses in, but they just kept hitting Southampton players. And that's no good when you're trying to get goals, especially when we went a goal down. First half, we were so dominant, the amount of passing that we were doing. And we were, in the final third, but the final pass wasn't great. The final, we weren't getting shots off enough by any means. I think our first shot on target might have been Rudiger from 35 yards out or something. We really are not a team that just decided, I'm confident enough to just turn and shoot here. Mason Mount was the only player really trying it. Didn't have his greatest game today, but of course converts the penalty, which is good, and wins the penalty. And had a few moments here and there where he was creating some really good things, especially second half and late on. He was creating, chances, but again, just nothing on the final product. Kante and Kovacic was a good partnership for most of that, although Kovacic was a little lackluster in the chase and in the press for their goal. Timo Werner very quiet again today, down the wing, was trying to beat his man and cross in, but just kept hitting Southampton players, which was just killing me. Callum Hudson-Odoi came on, started off a bit weak, but then started to get into it. And we know, as we've seen recently with Callum, he's probably our brightest spark in this team, alongside maybe Mason Mount, when it comes to creativity, because, down the wing, he is a threat. And he started to get into the game, and then Tuchel subbed him off. And I really didn't get this one. Half-time, bringing Tammy off, I thought that was a good move. And Tammy just wasn't feeling it today. But to bring Callum off and Ziyech came on, Ziyech, I'm not sure he did a thing right while he was on the pitch. He'd pick up the ball and run, he'd lose it. He'd misplaced pass or touch. Or he'd go and try and beat his man and lose it and give the ball away. He'd try a pass and just pass it to a Southampton player. Everything was just wrong with Ziyech today. And, he's coming back in after a bit of a period out of the team, seemingly rightfully so, because he just wasn't up to it today. And I did not think bringing Callum off, I don't think unless there was an injury that, if Callum didn't look injured, the commentator even said that Callum went and kicked like a bottle or something as he came off the pitch because he was annoyed that he'd been pulled off. And rightfully so. If Callum's not injured, I don't know why we pull him off there. We brought him on at half time and he comes off in the 76th minute, somewhere about there. Very weird decision for me. Jorginho coming on the pitch as well. Whilst we've seen Kovacic and Jorginho looking good, Jorginho really didn't do much to get us forward. In my eyes there, I'd want like a Giroud to come on and just get him up front alongside Timo, play a more 4-2-4 sort of thing, and just go for it. We need the point, the extra 2 points, I suppose. A point doesn't really do that much for us. It's okay, but we needed 3 from this game. So, all in all, a disappointing game. Had they not got that one shot on target and that one goal, you look at Chelsea in that game and you think, yeah, deserved 1-0 win, something along that lines. Like, we got the deserved pen, we got the 1-0, and I think if we'd come out of that with 1-0, we'd have said, not good enough, in terms of we'd like to score 2 and 3 and make that comfortable, but that would have been a deserved win. But the defensive, lapse of concentration and Zuma's mistake combines for a Southampton goal. So points dropped there, very annoying. 70% of the ball that we had more shots, and they definitely grew into the game a little bit in the second half. They did have a period where they were definitely a little more dominant, but that's about it. And their chance in the first half of the goal was just out of nowhere. Minamino, I think, had given the ball away about 8 or 9 times before that, so he'd had an abysmal start to the game, and then runs through and places a tidy finish past Mendy and Azpilicueta. So very disappointing. Let's have a look at the league table quickly. So I've got the league table up here, and that means now that Leicester, Man United, Man City, I don't think we were ever really looking at catching Man City, but Man United and Leicester we definitely could have. They're going to pull away. If Leicester and Man United win their games, they will go 6 points clear of us, I believe it'll be then. So that's looking a little much to ask for, 25 games into the season. We can pull it back, but I'd expect them to pick up points here. We probably had the easiest run-in of the teams around us as well. I think I calculated it last week before these fixtures, and I was like, I think we have 5 tough games where I'd be like, dropping points here is fine. Whereas Man United, Leicester, West Ham, Liverpool, Everton all had games where either they were playing each other and they were going to, one team was going to drop points, or they had tough fixtures. So this is a big drop in points. We need to make sure it's wins from here on out. Otherwise, we're really risking top 4. A lot of questions over, the new manager bounce. Is that, what we've just experienced? And we saw a lot of it today again that we've seen under Frank Lampard, which was a lot of passing, a lot of play around the centre-backs, not enough final product, and defensive frailties. So we'll see how this progresses. West Ham, if they win, go above us, we drop out of the top 4. Liverpool can go even with us. Of course, then Everton, if they win, they, I believe, go tied with us if they win against Liverpool and then win their next game, because they've got 2 games in hand. So 5th place is probably where we're sitting about now. We need teams to drop points. It's out of our hands now. We need to make sure that we just keep picking up wins and other teams drop points, ideally. So disappointing. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, please feel free to let me know what you thought of this game down in the comment section down below. I don't think it'll be very positive, but I am eager to hear what you guys say. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and subscribe to keep up to date with all my videos. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one, hopefully with a W. Goodbye.